YouTube family, what's good, man? It's your brother Toby back again with a new video on narcissism. All right, here's another character in a popular franchise, excuse me, that we all know about. We've seen it, we heard about. Most of the us geeks like myself, man, we know more about it. So this person is a narcissist. I don't know what type of narcissist this person is, but this person is very manipulative, very powerful, and can definitely use, I'll say, the power of flying monkeys and all of that stuff in order to fulfill, their purpose. And the person I'm speaking of is Emperor Palpatine, or AKA Darth Sidious. If you watch Star Wars, if you're not familiar with it, Darth Sidious was a powerful Sith Lord who was very, very manipulative. He's the one who's responsible for influencing Anakin Skywalker, the parent of Luke and Leia Skywalker. You've seen the Obi-Wan series, and you'll see a little more about that as well. That took place 10 years after, he became Darth Vader or whatnot. He's in a suit, mobilized, with robotics, a life support system within his suit. That's why he breathes like that, and all kinds of things, right? So the thing was that, as far as Anakin goes, he had a choice. He could have been a very powerful Jedi, but instead he chose to be a powerful Sith Lord. Now, the reason why that is because Emperor Palpatine, here's why. If you notice from episodes 1 all the way to episode 6, or episode 3 rather, you'll see that he always had his eye on Anakin, right? So he had to find a way to entrap him. How did he do so? Was by playing on Anakin's emotions, right? So Anakin lost his mother, Shmi Skywalker, to some Tusken Raiders in episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Went through a painful thing. Anybody who loses a parent, man, that just alters your whole mental capacity and being, you know what I'm saying? So that occurred. Then, time went on, he became more and more, also he became a student or pupil to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan was also an apprentice or knight, apprentice, whatever, I'm sorry, of his master Qui-Gon Jinn, or AKA Sidious, right, for my nerds or my geeks, that know about it. So when Qui-Gon was murdered or killed by Darth Maul in episode 1, which is a phenomenal fight. Never seen a dude nice with it as an apprentice, taking on 2 Jedis. It's crazy, right? So he kills Qui-Gon Jinn or Sidious. Obi-Wan becomes, the trainer or the master to Anakin. Fast forward a little bit, him and Anakin fight Count Dooku, who was actually the apprentice of Darth Sidious at the time. So what happened was, Sidious is so smart and manipulative to where he already knew that once he lost Darth Maul, he already had somebody in mind. That person was Anakin. But he had to let time play out. So when it comes to narcissism, they will have their sights on you for years or months and months at a time. They're predatorial. Okay, if you're watching all my other videos about this stuff, they're very, very predatorial. They wait for a weak moment in a person's life to, at least while they're vulnerable, in order to expose them or, just to fulfill their purpose. You know what I'm saying? And that can be, of course, when it comes to narcissism, it's not really a good thing you can say about it. And I can speak from experience on that. So they wait for a vulnerable moment in which, the victim is looking for help, and instead they'll cater to the cause. But guess what? It's all about what the narcissist wants. So when Darth Sidious was about to get arrested by Mace Windu, who's a Jedi Master, second to Yoda, Anakin struck him down by cutting his arm because he's literally about to kill Darth Sidious. Now Darth Sidious knew, or Emperor Palpatine knew, that Anakin was already conflicted because he was already frustrated with the Jedi Council. That's why he can sit on have a seat at the council position. He's a Jedi. But even then, Obi-Wan was like, hey, Anakin, you need to be careful with the Emperor Palpatine guy. He wants you to be his personal bodyguard and all this other stuff or whatever. And, again, in those moments where he's isolated, and this is another point I want to make, point number 2 is, narcissists will isolate you from those who love you. Now, Obi-Wan always loved Anakin as his brother, you know what I'm saying? Because he literally grew up together, right? So even when he, struck down Anakin, and he, chopped his limbs off. He got burned up, and that's why he ended up wearing a suit. It hurt him, so he lost his master, and then he lost his best friend to the thing that they fought against. And even then, some people say, well, yeah, the Jedi should have known. How could he be so, powerful in the Force and yet not see what was going on behind the scenes? And so the thing is that Emperor Palpatine was very, very calculated. So he used a position, which is, which I spoke about a while back. People, especially who are narcissists, they will use their power, positional authority in order to, exert their will, for a community, whatever the case may be. So he's able to be in office a lot longer than any other emperor. But yet he had a short leash on the Jedi Council. Because why? Because the Sith to the Jedi's have been extinct for quite some time. So when he found out that Darth Maul was around, and then they were like, okay, well, if he's around, then he has to have a master. The Jedi didn't know who the master was until episode 3. This is when, case in point, Anakin went to go get help from Mace Windu. Mace Windu was like, hey, bro, Anakin, you already kind of like, fidgety, bro. You're gleaning towards, you're the chosen one, so they say, but you're gleaning towards this man who is very, very interested in you, And so what happened? So because of a side note, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned this earlier, along with the loss of Anakin's mother, Shmi Skywalker, Padme, his mom, his wife, I'm gonna say baby mom, but it was his wife. His wife, she died in childbirth, but he had dreams in which she would die from childbirth. That's why he's had nightmares. It started in episode 2 and transitioned over to 3. Because he lost his mom, he's afraid of losing his wife, and that makes sense. So it's like, okay, I need to find a way to save my wife. This is when he became a Sith Lord, because Emperor Palpatine gassed his head up, literally, by saying, oh, I can show you. But then guess what? He never showed him how to defeat death or preserve life, because of a story that he heard about his master that he ended up killing once he found out the secret to surpass death, or whatever the case was. That shows you how powerful Darth Sidious really is. So, with that being said, he got Anakin, to betray his master, Mace Windu, and became, an apprentice for, Emperor Palpatine, and became, one of the most powerful Jedi, or not Jedi, because Darth Vader is about that life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's pretty formidable. But at the end of the day, what I want to say here is this, man, is that a narcissist will give you a subtle hope or a false hope. He gave Anakin Skywalker a false hope about, I can show you how to beat death or whatnot. And guess what? He never did. You know what I mean? He just, persuaded him to be, his apprentice and second in command, at least to him, in the universe, But yeah, again, that's a different note. The reason why I said that Emperor Palpatine was able to surpass death was because when he got thrown into the reactor in episode 6, Return of the Jedi, when he's about to kill Luke Skywalker, Anakin, because now Luke sensed that he had some good in him, and he called it out. But of course, Anakin was fighting it. So what happens is, in the moment where Emperor Palpatine's about to kill his son, granted, Vader, he already lost his hand to the lightsaber fight with Luke, because he was like, hey, if you don't want to go to the dark side, I'm gonna get your sister then. And he just snapped on him, sliced his arm, or his hand, excuse me. And then this is when he had a moment to strike down Darth Vader and become the apprentice to Emperor Palpatine. So this goes from one supply. This is another point I want to make. So his old supply was good enough, but here came this new supply. So anytime that he could try to take advantage of that, he tried to. And Luke was like, nah, man, I'm a Jedi like my father before me. I'll never join the dark side. And then Emperor Palpatine started, lightning striking him, whatever. And Luke was, begging for help from his dad, like, Father, please help me, And, you can see the conflict, the turmoil. He's thinking, Anakin and Darth Vader, that is. And he just snaps and he just picks him up. And as he's picking him up, he tosses him down to the reactor in the Death Star. And I guess when he got shot, because he has the electrical suit, it kind of messed up his life support system. So that's when he started gasping. And anytime you heard Anakin or Vader gasp, is because he was severely wounded or hurt. You know what I'm saying? So again, I say all that to say this, fam. Emperor Palpatine surpassed death because he was in the Rise of Skywalker. He was in dialysis, some type of machine, whatever. I'm like, man, and like people are like, how did he survive? But then you go back to the thinking where he knew the code to cheat death, but he never gave it to his people. So that's the thing too, especially when it comes to finances. Like a narcissist, anything that means something to you, the narcissist would hold it over your head. Like when it comes to finances, accounts, anything, man, anything. You know, they will literally hold it over your head and will like give you enough, bait you or give you enough false hope in order to keep you around, you know, but they'll never give it into you. They'll never give it to you, period. So overall, if you don't, you know, if you haven't seen the movie, I encourage you to see it or watch it, you know, and just learn about it. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're interested in Star Wars or not, learn about how manipulative Emperor Palpatine was and how cunning he was. And that's literally how narcissists are. So that's my second person. The first one was Michael Myers. And now this guy right here is Emperor Palpatine. And so I'm gonna keep trying to find more and more people like this in popular films or whatever that we've all seen. Mostly, I hope so. Star Wars been around since the 70s, so and it's not really an excuse there if you've not seen it or heard it. You know what I'm saying? It's older than me, so yeah. So thanks guys for your time. And then if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. Hit the sub button right there. And I gotta go in here and take care of some business, guys. So peace, God bless, take care, have a great Christmas and great holidays and New Year's.